Team NRG, they're second with this lineup, hoping that they can make things work out well. We're seeing the Zyra ban targeted away from Kiwikid, Shrimp not being allowed to play Nidalee. And as more target bans coming through, the Lucian going off as well.
Pretty standard so far. Expect to see a Rise get up there, as well as a Vladimir and some Kindred bans as well. There we go.
Okay, yeah, the Kindred ban off that field. So multiple jungle bans coming out of Santorin.
This will be interesting because if they don't ban Rise or Vladimir here on Apex's side, they get at least one of them.
That's true. Yeah, those are still the really high priority champions that people can't forget about. As the time starts dwindling down rapidly, I want to know what they really do think is the best. Swain ban does come through, so 4 for 4. Quas will never be allowed to play Swain so far in the North American LCS. You just got to respect it. And that's just, again, Swain is good in general, but I love telling the Quas Swain storyline anyway. Like, watch it gets picked up at his GBM who plays it, and then we're all just like, oh, okay. Just kidding, guys.
Really interested in this last ban. Yes, exactly. I think that you leave both up, so you at least get one. If you ban Rise, they take Vladimir, and vice versa. So banning the Karma away, which has been actually an incredibly potent support.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think there's a lot of really good bans right here. This is Ray, by the way, hovering his favorite champion, actually known for his Riven over in China and Korea. And, well, maybe he gets to play it at some point. I don't think you'd first pick it by any stretch of the imagination. And the thought is, what are you actually going to go for? Vladimir is certainly one of the options for first pick, and it is going to be with Rise still up, keep in mind.
Yeah, and I assume that Vladimir is a flex pick here. I assume that Keane plays it, because he plays everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a champion that Keane hasn't at least played a game or two on, and found a lot of interest in the ones that are kind of hipster. So he was probably playing Vlad before it was cool.
He definitely was. You know it was the case here. Keane's played everything before it was cool. Mid-Graves, you know it. Anything that he wants to play, he will bring out when he thinks it's the right choice. And he's always had the freedom to operate the way he thinks is correct on the team, and has the trust of his coaches to pick the champions that he thinks will do well in the matchup.
So right here, on the opposite side for NRG, I think you take Rise and you take Rek'Sai here. You can't let Shrimp have Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is meta. Rek'Sai is the jungler that's left up. But oh man, they go with Sivir here, so they don't give it to Apollo. But this leaves Rise up. If you want to run a double AP composition, you very well can here for Apex.
Rai honestly a champion that was so heavily contested in general in picks and bans that very few would give it away, but at this point, neither team really prioritizing it right now. That Caitlyn has been locked in already. Caitlyn and Sivir, there's no rush in picking it up, as there's already been an AD carry locked in, but they're gonna get that one anyway. And now actually the early pick on Trundle coming through. I guess Trundle could still flex between top lane and the support role for Xpecial, but honestly, with every top laner you can conceive of that isn't named Swain on the table, they really, really want to play Trundle.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy, because out of 80 games, Rise has been banned in 73 of them. He is the most banned champion on this patch globally. He's not banned in this game. He's been picked in 7. That is how few times he's been up. He's got 99 presence. There's one time he was not picked or banned.
Exactly. In the 80 games in professional League of Legends so far this split, once he was left available and didn't get picked up in picks and bans. This could be the second as far as our stats and tracking has been concerned so far. Hover right now onto Ekko on the right side of the map. Very strange that neither team really wants to pick up the Rise here, but maybe it just doesn't quite fit their compositions. Ekko and Bard going to be the synergy here, so a ranged support once again in the bot lane, which will make you not really want to play Trundle. It'll make Caitlyn's life quite a bit harder. You don't really want to get 2v1 in that case. But there is a lock in. The Ekko, again, could still be a flex between the top lane and the mid lane. You never know. We always see those occasional Ekko mids. He definitely a famous one of those. But now it's up to the last couple of picks. Where is the Trundle actually going? I would expect him to go into the top lane, even though it is a blind pick. Trundle and Ekko should be an okay matchup. Not amazing, but not terrible. And we'll see something else come out of Xpecial here to synergize alongside the Caitlyn. They've already got 2 damage dealers, the Caitlyn and the Vladimir. They don't need that much more coming out. And they can just rely on something supportive to keep that backline afloat. Need a jungler pick as well, of course. That's looking to be maybe Elise, as Apollo hovers that for Shrimp.
It's really what's left up here after the 3 junglers have been taken away. You go down the tier list, it's that or Graves. And it is going to be that Elise here. He did play some Elise back in the day when they had Eve as well on the roster to go back and forth. If he's picked up the Elise and actually become very proficient at it, then that's a good thing for Shrimp. So we know he loves the Rek'Sai. He's not going to get to this game. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. So the final pick to come through for NRG, it looks like it's going to be maybe a mid laner, as they're hovering Azir right now for GBM. Last looks now for these compositions. Apex are going to be sending Trundle to the top lane. They are still playing a support tank with Xpecial putting up the Braum, but that's still a very large beef wall. 2.5 tanks, depending on how you consider Elise. You can build her ability power, you can build her full tank. Vladimir half tank as well, and Caitlyn should be putting out plenty of damage. Apollo is a player I have a lot of respect for. He's generally more passive in the laning phase, but I think he has great uptime in team fights, and Caitlyn's a great champion for that kind of situation where you just want to put out all the DPS. I think Apex have a solid lineup, honestly.
Yeah, I actually really like this draft from them. I think it's very cohesive. And there we go. The second game in Professional League of Legends out of 80 that Rise has not been picked or banned. And it's just fallen all the way through. Even when there's nothing at the start where you're just like, this is my first pick. All right, I understand Vlad. It went all the way through the cracks, so he's not going to be in this game. They went for the Azir. GBM on Azir. Lots of damage. He's a big carry for this squad, and if he's able to just stand on the back line and you have enough peel with Quas, Santorin, and Kiwikid, and also the movement speed to keep yourself safe, then GBM may be able to carry this game by himself.
Definitely agree. And if you kind of look at like the tier list and sort of power picks, if there's a champion you're going to give up Rise for, Azir and Vladimir are definitely up there as ones you can honestly consider as options. So definitely some strong picks coming out of both these teams. The red team teamfight power, definitely great. 2 tanks for themselves, Sivir and Azir for the backline, Bard to help make engage tools happen, and Kiwikid always wants to be the one to start things, to make them happen, to be the one to initiate, and on Bard he certainly can be that. I think Alistair and Annie, two his other sort of longtime favorites, having the ability to go in there and start the fights out, I think going to be a good thing for Kiwikid. And I think it's going to be a really great match. Again, it's a best of 3. We're going to have at least one more of these games here, but the first one's looking to be already great. So let us know how it's going to go. Put your voice out there on Twitter. Give us your predictions. Tell us who it's going to be. Hashtag APX win or hashtag NRG win to let us know which team is going to be taking game 1 right here. Again, our first look at the new Apex lineup. NRG had a disappointing series last time around, but today they can redeem themselves and get back out of the gutter here with the leadership of that Azir player, of GBM in the mid lane, and the rest of these guys in those beautiful pink logos. Here we go into game 1.
And yesterday, looking at NRG's games, game 1, they got destroyed. It was very quick. Envy ran all over them. And game 2 was 64 minutes long. It was an incredibly long game. So that's weighing on you a little bit. You have a lot of things to look at and go, okay, what were our mistakes? GBM has to be able to get it out of his head that he's the only person on this team that can really carry and get OQ up there and get these guys on the same page.
So let's see what page they can get themselves on right now, and whether it's written in English or Hangul. Pushing forward. NRG right now, just playing the line of scrimmage, kind of similarly right now for Apex. Nothing too interesting in the level 1s. NRG could certainly have nightmares from what their level 1 looked like in the first game of their LCS season, because that was one of the major reasons they lost, is they just never did anything after losing their laning phase.
Yeah, they really couldn't, and then they swapped Quas into that lane, and they really messed up Quas's advantage that he had. And then it just spilled over into the entire game, so GBM was really the only person who was on even footing after that invade that trickled over throughout the map.
Well, it looks like the first dragon to spawn this game will be the Cloud Drake. We saw the icon in the corner of the screen as we kind of scrolled down and looked over at Caitlyn. So most pros think it's the weakest. I think it's underrated. That's okay. I mean, but perception is what matters, right? When you're playing League of Legends, you're going to do what you think is best, whether it's true or not. And a lot of teams have said, yeah, we're happy to just give up a Cloud Drake and trade a turret for it. We don't really want to go for it, and that might actually color the decisions here of these teams as the game goes on. Kiwikid and OQ will be starting out with a jungle camp for themselves. The Braum will be going down rapidly. And once again, as with the 6.9 changes, you can't share experience on jungle camps anymore. So someone's going to get a bunch of XP, someone's going to get 0, and it's probably Kiwikid who's getting 0.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen the support last hit it and it be an accident.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Don't share EXP anymore. So you can see right there, OQ, he's going to hit level 2 fairly quickly, as well as Apollo, who will hit it pretty much immediately as he gets in the lane.
And looks like no experience really lost on either side here. Yeah, 80 carries in both cases, getting the XP in the jungle camps, both doing a jungle start, and they're ready to go and battle back and forth. Level 2 marksman going to be putting out some level of damage. Spell shield already learned by OQ, so when he wants to, he can just walk over and eat up a cupcake and get his mana back up whenever he feels like he's not under too much threat. In the game earlier today, Sneaky actually had maxed traps first. He got a point in Q and then maxed them right away. I want to see if Apollo does the same thing here.
Yeah, we see a mixture. We actually
some still put
like
the Pilt over Peacemaker, yeah.
We see people max Pilt over Peacemaker. We see somebody put 3 points in and then max trap. They hit that mid-game and start grouping.
Well, here's the first attempt, though. Santorin on the top side, because keep in mind, Ray is a bit injured already. Chugged through one of his potion stacks and not the rest. So now, at 300 health, the flash knock him, and there's the easy-peasy first blood. He still had 2 stacks of Corrupting Potion and just didn't chug them. with the duration, like, gone, mistake from Ray, a great gank as well by Santorin. Hey, good first blood.
It's also a mistake to not ward.
Trinkets up.
Yeah, it was up afterwards, I believe, but
okay.
he was still playing too far forward, and that was an easily gankable lane. Has to use his TP to get back, but now Quas, we gave him a lot of criticism for yesterday's performance. Now he has his first kill of the 2016 LCS.
Yeah.
After playing 3 games yesterday. See if he can carry here. And I remember back in the day, it was always, you know, Quas is a fantastic player, and he's always on tanks. He does have the capability of carrying games, and people would kind of beg to see him on these champions. They're like, where's the Swain? If he can go crazy on this Ekko, and that's going to be great for NRG because they're going to have another threat.
Looks like he's not going for a Huni-style build. He has no ability power that's not from the Doran's Ring, and he has no magic pen in the rune page either. So it's probably still going to be the tank build. Double Doran's Ring's going to give him mana, but I still wouldn't expect to see him go for a higher damage build than this. Either way, though, got to be good stuff for him. He's actually going to walk back into lane. Ray right now is actually freezing the top lane, so it will deny a fair bit. Actually, this won't remain as a freeze. His wave is bigger and it's on his side of the map.
It's closer to him, yeah.
But it will still deny some of the farm, maybe a full wave away from what Quas would have wanted. But that's Quas saving his TP to lose that, basically.
Yeah, I think it might have been half a wave. It actually wasn't that bad. And Quas made the right decision of walking back. And now you see how much he actually lost. Almost nothing.
Yeah, I don't know how much he lost like during the recall, but yeah, it wasn't too terrible, to be honest. So
and he has his TP.
Right, so he basically bought a teleport cooldown with 60 gold and a third of a level, right? Like, that's a way you could kind of consider it, and probably worth.
Yeah, and a temporary advantage to his opponent for right now, because there's so many minions here, so you can't actually trade with him. That will take too much damage. But that
really
means
do that many autos anyway.
Hmm?
As like, you're not going to auto that hard anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, if Trundle walks up to your face...
True. You got to fight him back at some point. No, right now the game is actually equal, though, despite the first blood coming through for NRG. APEX is actually ahead in gold. It's plus 12 in the bot lane. Apollo and Xpecial are smashing, but Santorin's coming down and turning around. Walks into Xpecial, says hello. Apollo's got to run. The flash, yeah, is used. Santorin did not have his to find the knockup, but Apollo lost a summoner spell for that play. And hey, that is another good gank by Santorin. And for as much as he was kind of invisible in the last series, and you know, maybe in his entire career with TSM, he's ganked 2 different sides of the map successfully on both.
Yeah, I got a flash on this one, able to get a kill in the top lane and get Quas rolling. But Santorin, if he's able to actually have these types of performances, and it keeps going and going and going, then Rek'Sai might just be the champion that he needs to keep playing here.
If it works, honestly. I don't mind players having a favorite champion. And okay, yeah, Rek'Sai's good regardless, but if you're that good on it, then...
Oh, they're wrapping around GBM right now. You can see Shrimp on the backside. Flash!
Low on mana, has flash, but no other summoners. This could just be him dying. Knocks back Shrimp, who repels away from the turret. And no, still takes him down. What? Oh, you gotta be kidding me! GBM lives. Huge mistake to not get the damage down from APEX. And that was a very bad gank, all said and done.
Yeah, it was a 2v1, still gets the kill on Shrimp. Shrimp repelled up, and then he went down, so he actually didn't cancel the turret shot at all. You see it actually kind of curve and come back towards him as he comes down on the other side. A little bit too quick. It was like too slow on the actual casting of repel, and then too quick to come back down from it.
That is unfortunate. Okay, though, nice spell shield there, and Xpecial blocking up the potential stun from Kiwikid. I think it hit a minion first anyway, but we can watch this fight again. Yes, here comes the attempt at the gank. It's a great cocoon.
So he's already used his flash to get in. Keane uses everything, and then he gets shoved away, goes up, comes down, and it comes back.
Yeah, it tagged him,
still tags him. So that's also the flash and the ghost from Keane. So it's multiple summoner spells there. 3 blown.
3-1.
And they don't even get the kill on GBM.
Well, swag stuff for GBM. He says, yeah, I'm a god, I'll just carry. And, well, when your opponents give you kills, makes it a bit easier, I suppose you could say. But, of course, good play by GBM to survive in the first place. A nice knockback on Elise part of that one. OQ, great reflexes, spell shooting. Really reliably, honestly. He got a Peacemaker earlier, got a Winter's Bite there. And he's just still pushing in. Try to catch back up and minion farm at least a little bit here. 400 gold lead now for NRG thanks to that solo kill, putting him back up on top. We're seeing, though, that even though Ray did get first blooded, he's plus 13 on Quas right now. Santorin might have to come back to keep his lane from getting worse.
Oh, man. I went back.
Actually down a level.
I went back and looked at that GBM play. GBM auto-attacks a minion to get level 6 right before Shrimp comes over.
Oh, wow.
And that's how he got the Emperor's Divide. Really well played.
On the wrong side of Santorin, they'll listen to flash in for the knockup again. They're looking for the kill on Ray, who was missing summoner spells. Ekko stun will not land in time, but a flash to get the Q to come through, and Quas making a good play mechanically to make sure that kill comes through. 3-0 for NRG.
Exactly, and Trundle is supposed to be a lane bully. Well, that's shut out right now. Ekko is pretty much going to own this lane for the rest of the game based on the tempo and the momentum that he has, and he's forcing Ray to build defensive already. You can see Spectre's Cowl comes through for him, and he's not even building towards actually having a Tiamat, actually having an Iceborne Gauntlet, having that build.
Normally you see, yeah, Trundle is winning the lane by a little bit, builds the damage out of him first, gets tanky later, has to go tanky now, which really just lowers his effectiveness. This could be very rough stuff here for Ray. You gotta wonder, I mean, again, we talked about the 10-man roster. Apex has Chris on the bench. You never know, maybe they actually want to bring him out at some point, but it's certainly too soon to tell. There's always a chance that it come at a out farm. So the game is honestly close despite you seeing kills.
Only 300, 400 gold difference here, and it's mostly that top lane still, even though Ray has been killed twice and he's actually most of the deaths on his team. He's got a pretty sizable CS advantage here.
There's actually a 300 gold lead for specifically Xpecial.
Yeah, you can see he's got 13 CS.
Yeah, so Relic Shield got changed in 6.9 to where there's less regen, but the cooldown on the basic version is much shorter, so the actual gold income from a Relic Shield is quite high. And Kiwikid is just like not getting a lot of Spell Thieves damage down, so turns out he's getting all the farm, and now a Rift Herald coming to the top laner, but meanwhile, into the bot lane they go. Santorin with yet another gank, and the TPs are coming in as well. Nice dodge by Apollo. Now Xpecial to block everything up, and they've not yet killed this bot lane. Here comes the attempt at a stun, and he's gonna land it. Great shot by Quas, gets the kill, a spree for him. That's 3 in a row, and now Xpecial stunned up against the wall. The ulti to go back in and get the damage. Yes, they traded on an OQ, but still a 2-for-1 dive. Not bad for NRG.
2-for-1. They end up getting the Rift Herald on the opposite side, and that's what keyed off Santorin to go in 100%, because you know they're dedicating a lot of people to go do that Rift Herald. As soon as that scream comes out, well, the screams and cries of OQ do as well. Because Apollo and Xpecial get dove. Top lane, though, they do start shoving that in, and just to touch on that, Ray is the one who has the Rift Herald buff now. So they gave it to the Trundle to try and compensate a little bit of that difference in gold and that pressure. And this is actually a big tool for top laners. When you have, I mean, there's been multiple times that I put a top laner behind, he gets the Rift Herald buff, and then he's able to duel that person.
And honestly, look at the cross-map plays here. The gold still honestly close to equal here. Yeah, 2-for-1 and the turret goes down, but Rift Herald on a 2v1 turns out that Quas TP'd out, had to leave. Turret goes down, they answer it.
Here, Kiwikid trying to put himself in position, and Apollo has to pay attention to so many different things. And Xpecial isn't actually blocking OQ, flashes the follow, ulties, they pick up OQ, but Quas TP'd in, Quas is able to follow up, and that's how they get that kill.
Xpecial made a really nice play there. He flashed, make sure he could auto attack to complete the stun, and then ulted so OQ couldn't leave turret range. Really heads up play by him. Apollo dodged plenty of skill shots, but it's NRG way more cohesive than yesterday. Honestly, we were seeing so many ganks, so many cross-map plays, great teleports. This is a 180 as far as the team is concerned. And it's great to see that NRG are playing that much better.
Yeah, completely turned around here. Ray is also coming to this bottom side, and they're trying to push Quas out of this lane so they can get this turret quickly.
I think they're going to. I don't think there's anything you can really do in this one. Rift Herald trigger deals some damage to the turret, and now Ray is going to be here to auto attack.
Yeah,
still does not have any damage items, but getting some damage on it.
Rift Herald does not charge up when you have allies nearby, so as he's pushing that turret, gets that one, and then doesn't get any more off. But yeah, this is actually very tricky. You have to 5-man dive this as Apex if you want to push 2 turrets, because your top side is getting shoved in by OQ, and you're going to lose your tier 2 if you don't make a move now.
Yeah, BF's one's pretty super doing plenty damage. The flash stun's going to land on a Santorin. That will be the kill picked off. A great roam by Shrimp, and Keane is behind them. So NRG, we talked about coordination, but this time around didn't see the roam coming across and stayed under a turret they had no business defending. 2 kills for Apex. The question is, will they go Dragon? Will they take the turret? Will they move around the map? Because top lane tier 2 is probably going to die.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud Drake is something that a lot of teams don't prioritize. You have to get back to the mid lane. You're probably going to lose your tier 2 in the top. So yeah, Kiwikid applying pressure in this mid, and it's going to pull back Keane into this lane.
Yeah, the long form trade is 2 kills for a top lane tier 2 turret. I think that's somewhat close in sort of overall power. Actual gold-wise, it's plus 100 for Apex. 900 for the 2 kills, 800 for the turret. And actually, then we'll get the Cloud Drake on top of that because of the recall timings everyone else. So I gotta say, sort of that's a net positive to Apex, and it claws them back into this game a bit. They're actually up 300 gold, and a Drake buff.
Yeah, and they were able to get deeper wards into that jungle before they went for the Drake, and that's what they were doing, is making sure that they have that area warded up. And let's go watch this again, because steps on a trap, so Santorin takes a lot of damage, takes a Peacemaker as well, and then Flash, Cocoon, Shrimp, not afraid to pull the trigger on that. He's done that twice already with his Flash. That's going to be Quas getting picked up as well, but there's 5 people here to come and shut him down. Didn't see the roam coming, or saw it too late, because GBM has TP and wasn't able to get into that fight, wasn't able to roam and follow, but Kiwikid, too far!
He is donezo, maybe? Oh, gets a stun! Oh my gosh, you're kidding me! He lives! Oh, I'm wrong. He is Livzo. Good job, Kiwikid. That's the best word I could come for. But he gets out just barely. A great stun off the wall, and you deserve those penguins celebrating around you. Yeah, that was good, Kiwikid. Nice job. Let's go back to the base.
Oh my God, Livzo. I can't.
Do you have anything better? I mean, it was bad.
It was bad, Zo.
Great. We're gonna do this now the whole time?
No, we're not. We're not.
The Wolves. Oh, they're going down. Wolves, though? That was okay. Hey,
no.
Thanks,
no.
Zirene, for the
All right. Anyway, Quas walking up, just zoning them off at the turret, and here comes Santorin again.
Oh, he's right in the mix. So is Quas, who gets stunned up and ult, but he's still in the middle of the enemy team. Ignite is on the third as well. The heal comes through and ult. And it's gonna land. Ray gets one now to the backside. Ulti from Kiwikid puts himself in the mix with Ray. He goes down. Double kill for the Trundle, who despite starting the game 0-2 and 0, well, he's got 2 more kills and 2 assists now. He's doing just fine.
And he's almost up 30 CS. He's 29 up over Quas right now, and he's right back into this game. Keane able to turn it around, and he gets into the middle of the fight, and he's able to slow everybody with his E, and then he's also able to throw down his ultimate and get that healing. So Keane, GBM should know this better than anybody based off yesterday, but Vladimir, huge priority pick. NRG, they paid for it in Game 3 yesterday when they didn't ban it and it went over first pick, and they're paying for it again right now. 4,000 gold advantage for Apex off of that play because they just saw the opportunity, and that was Quas and NRG trying to force that mid lane tower down, and a good collapse.
Very good collapse. So beautiful stuff right now. Apex clawing in a pretty nice lead now, 3,000 gold up despite a tied kill game. We can see that dive once again.
And you can see Santorin from behind on the pink ward, thinks he's okay. They go on to Apollo, but Apollo able to get away from it with the flash, and Keane comes over the wall, flash, uses the Chemo Plague, Tides of Blood on 3 people, and then he continues to go towards that back line, and that just picks up Quas, and they're able to pick up Kiwikid afterwards, and then just continue to snowball and rush down this mid lane with both kills going over to somebody who sorely needs it to get back into this game and have a split push threat.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, talk about some of the specifics there. Unlucky for Quas, I think his Bombi's Cinder re-pulled turret aggro after he popped ultimate. Like, someone walked out of range and he tagged somebody with it. But also, if Kiwikid had Timber Fate the whole time, why not just shut off the turret to make that dive work well? That thing did so much damage to the team. Keep in mind, another change from 6.9 is turrets don't partially lose their damage amp on switching targets. So it amps up over like 3 attacks, then just does full power all the time, which will wreck people. It'll do like 400 damage a hit or something ludicrous high before armor. Which wrecked the crap out of poor Quas' Ekko.
Yeah, it used to be 2 different things where it heats up itself and buffs its damage, and then it buffs damage on specific champions.
Yeah.
Now it gets to the same damage but it only buffs itself. So when it's swapping between targets, especially when you're tower diving early, it hurts a lot.
Yeah. And Quas got the receiving end of that one right there. But we're back into the live part of the game with a 3,000 gold difference, and Ray just wants to say, hey, Quas, don't you dare be part of this fight. This is my lane. I am Trundle, the Troll King. And, well, he's a level up. It's going to make it really hard for Quas to do much about this.
Also with Rift Herald, and he started to go towards a tankier build and with more damage here. You saw as soon as he got that double kill, Ray's like, all right, let's start going towards Titanic Hydra. Let's start going towards damage item here and make sure that I'm able to actually bully Quas around for a bit.
Pretty sure it will be Titanic Hydra. There's a couple other things that Jarm's Fist will build out of. But that's the expectation here on this one. And, well, we have a quick pause for ourselves right here. Looks like it's Apollo talking to a ref, so we'll see what the actual issue ends up being. But, well, just a quick delay. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. This is Apex's first game on stage, so there's always a chance they didn't catch something in the rehearsal, and they got to tune something up right now. They got 20 minutes through the game without anything going wrong, so it shouldn't be too catastrophic. Maybe just something you notice now. Talking about Apollo a little bit, though. You know, doing a proper Caitlyn build. BS Sword into Hurricane. He's got Berserker's Greaves as well. Standard high damage, going for the full efficiency. And this is even before Berserker Greaves gets buffed, so I I think we'll see that build even more over time.
Yeah, and apparently Apollo can't see minion health bars.
Which is sometimes a keybind, actually.
May have accidentally hit a key.
There's always, yeah, it's like, I know it used to be Shift K for, that was summoner names, but like things like roughly that difficult to press are like the binds for minion health bars. I think L used to be it as well. I think was the actual, like, the health bar toggle. So we'll see if it ended up being a binding thing, if it ended up being a weird bug with his client. He is disconnected and will be reconnecting to the game. Maybe that'll do it. And we'll see what that actually ends up being. But yeah, as an AD carry, until you're at 80% crit, you actually want to know health bars before you start one-shotting everything at all times.
That's true. You definitely need to see those health bars, especially 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the thing is, it's weird because like I feel like he's so used to playing Sivir that aren't you used to seeing no health bars on minions as they just die instantly to Rek'Sai?
And then you just watch their animation as they die.
Yeah, you just see them fall over and over again. You're just like, oh, okay, like dominoes.
That's true, actually. I actually really, there's a visceral feeling about that when you're just like, you throw two abilities out.
20 gold, 20 gold, 20 gold, 20 gold, 20 gold. Oh, it feels great.
Reminds me of the Lulu and Challenger, man.
I had the exact same thought. I think about that like every like couple of weeks. I'm like, man, remember when they did like the slow-mo zoom-in replay of Lulu killing a minion wave with Glitterlands? It's like, it should go on our Oddly Satisfying. Like, it's just one of those great like moments that just feels good when you play League of Legends. That's why I like Sivir so much. Who was also scaling up quite nicely, by the way. We've got OQ sitting on a Zeal and a BF and a pickaxe. Looks like everyone said R in all chat, so Apollo's ready, so is Santorin and Kiwikid. We'll be getting ourselves back into the game very, very shortly.
Yeah, they're just going to do a check really quickly. Everybody said that they're ready, and we're going to see if Apollo is able to see what the minions have health-wise. Are they healthy, Doctor? Looks like they get a clean bill of health for right now.
All right.
Yeah. They're alive. We found out that they're alive. They do have heartbeats.
Yep. Well, they might come. We might repause if he finds out that the thing didn't fix, but so far so good. But up to his prerogative, make sure the game works out well. And here we see Apollo farming. And yes, we are good. The minions are dying, and he can see how fast they're dying. So all is well. His premonitions are solid. Level 10 now on the Caitlyn. And just to do the quick check on the ability levels, 4 points Q, 4 points trap. So he's going back and forth. 4 points Q, 4 points trap.
Okay. I've seen that a couple times where people just go back and forth. And yeah, he's playing the Caitlyn. He's not playing the Sivir.
Yeah. Sivir is definitely Q-Max.
But it's funny because for Apollo, it's like sometimes my brain goes, Apollo, Sivir. Of course he's playing Sivir, right?
Yeah, but right. I know it's one of the champions he's most known for, especially back on the TIP days. OQ actually is maxing Spell Shield second. He's only got 1 point in Ricochet. I actually see this from specifically OQ more than anyone else, but he does this very defensive thing where Ricochet, yes, the damage actually does go up with rank, as it is, I believe, the cooldown on Ricochet, which makes it a really good level up, honestly. But he wants the Spell Shield cooldown, he wants the mana restore, and hey, if he's really worried about getting wrecked by, you know, Braum Qs and cocoons and whatnot, like getting a second Spell Shield in a team fight makes you not die. And if you don't have to buy a Quicksilver Sash, that makes you buy a Zeal, and that's a lot of damage. So, you know, I can see sort of some of the logic here. It's still atypical.
Yeah, it's actually quite strange because Ricochet goes from 12-second cooldown to 6, and it actually increases the AD ratio by 20% when you take it from rank 1 to rank 5.
Yeah.
But then Spell Shield just gives you from 80 to 40 mana, and it goes down from 22 to 10. So 10 seconds, you know, if you do get a little bit of CDR on top of that, which maybe he will, as since Reaver's kind of out right now.
Yeah. I mean, it has the cooldown of Spell Shield, and if that's really important to you, right?
Yeah.
You get it to 20, you get it to 10 seconds before CDR. That's up like 3 times a fight. And hey, look, uptime is the most important thing for an AD carry. It's a defensive option, but if it keeps him alive, it's the right choice for him, almost no matter what.
Yeah, that's your big job as an AD carry. Stay
alive.
Not
dying.
Stay alive.
Yes.
Right. A lot of times, it's whichever AD carry goes down in the first 3 seconds of the fight,
loses.
Probably losing.
Well, here we go. Nice wave clear, even with the rank 1 Ricochet. Wow, OQ's so skilled. Infinity Edge and 40% crit chance. Good job, buddy.
He did it. Anyway, Baron spawning. It's going to be Shrimp picking up the Scuttle Crab and then moving on as the bot lane's been shoved out by Quas. So right now what's going on is they're just kind of answering waves here.
Yeah.
Ray is going to go tag Keane out of this lane because he doesn't have TP, right? He's that ghost Vladimir who's just trying to get into that back line and flank by hand in a way and then chase people down. But I definitely think that Ray might be able to duel Quas as this Trundle who's been able to catch up. He doesn't have Titanic Hydra completed, but he does have enough stats right now alongside that Rift Herald buff to really punish him.
Sure, just an individual gold. It's a 500 gold lead for Ray. That's not huge. In terms of experience, it's a slight XP lead. They're at the same level right now, though, for Ray. So you'll see breakpoints where Ray is really far ahead at certain times based on leveling first, based on completing an item first. That's something that Ray can occasionally play around.
Ray got behind Quas. I don't know how, but he's behind Quas, and he was in the bush and just walked out, and he's just hitting him back and forth. And he actually wins the trade against Quas, so Quas has to run away.
All right, well, you're seeing him slowly wear that guy down.
Which is
the
big.
swiftness helping to keep him up.
When you have that stat check as a 1v1 split pusher and you win it, you immediately gain complete dominance of that lane. So Ray, now he gets to push that lane in all the way to that tier 2. You get Baron control on the opposite side for Apex, and then if they come and answer you with more than one person, it's going to have to be GBM and Quas because they both have TP, or you said Santorin with the tunnel.
Right, and once again, you talk about flanking by hand. Because the wave is this pushed up, Ray can walk down to make the play and make Quas TP to answer, and then do it again without TP up. Here's a free 5v4.
Yep.
And that's the difficulty right now that honestly NRG has to deal with the fact that, look, the Rift Herald was given to Ray 10 minutes ago or so, despite the fact that he was 0-2 when that happened, roughly. And, well, they trusted in him. They grabbed him in the lineup. Looks like it's working out so far. They're putting a lot of eggs in the Ray basket, and so far that's going quite well. So 2-item spike already done now for Apollo. OQ actually, weirdly, I think you can go, like, once you have a Zeal, it only costs a BF worth of money to upgrade the Zeal all the way. But he chose to stay with the Zeal and just get another BF sword. So he really wants the cooldown reduction from Essence Reaver. He wanted the IE for, like, the damage spike. And he's like, yeah, but I want the cooldown reduction now.
Yeah, I think he's really bent on having that spell shield be such a low cooldown, especially with Keane, and being able to not get hit by cocoons and set up in that way. So I think that he's trying to get that. Also, it's a lot of damage with your Q. Your Q can't crit.
Yeah, true. He's affected by CDR and attack damage, that's it. So it's a different style of build. We'll see how it pays out for him. Aegis done on both supports right there. They're both playing for a sort of tankier style. A little bit of CDR on both these guys as well, but looking to push forward as a locket comes through for Xpecial when he can find the completion gold. Just only 200, shouldn't be too far away for him. Titanic Hydra now done for Ray, so he cashed in the gold advantage, and he's walking back across the map and heading for the top side, actually. He's walked in towards the Baron pit.
Yeah, 23 minutes is Baron. Still kind of difficult to take for both of these teams. Nobody has a Baron shredding team, except I would actually give that in favor of NRG with the Azir. Who's pretty close to having that 3-item spike.
Nice done from Kiwikid, but there's a flank coming in from Ray. Nice magical journey brings the Bard Kiwikid to safety. Still 3,000 gold. Actually less than that, 2,500. Sorry, 3,500. I correct myself once again as the lead. So it's been slightly growing for Apex over time. But certainly this game is not out of NRG's reach. Wave for the mid lane. Apollo will not let that turret take much damage. Minions get a little bit of chip down, but it's not too bad. And a Tempered Fate tries to find no Shrimp, repelling in time to not take damage, flashes downwards, misses the cocoon. Xpecial walking forward, now Keane wants in for GBM and Kiwikid. Putting damage down there, the knockback is not going to do all that much as GBM flashes away. Now watch the right side of the fight, it's OQ kiting back, trying to run away from Ray, and he will get away pretty safely. Ray a bit alone on this side of this one. As Quas stuns him up and walks back, and now a teleport flank to come in across as they still want GBM and Kiwikid, who's been slowed up. He lands on somebody, will be going down, and GBM now very much on the wrong side of the fight. Will he go for the teleport play? We'll look for the outplay. He tries to kite out. Cocoon is down right now, and he is definitely going to die for this one. I can't see him getting out. Xpecial just landing the chair on the back of the head, so a 2-for-0 so far in this one. Ray just tanking up some minions and saying, don't you dare try to stop my team. 2-for-0, good fight for Apex.
Yeah, and Apex, they get complete control of the map for a couple of seconds here, shove up the mid lane, keep Ray in this top side. He's going for OQ.
Under the turret, chases him with the flash, but he's got no mana left. Now chased out by Santorin, and this time Ray is overextended. 1v3 will go down. OQ kites him out right, and Ray bit off more than he could chew.
Yep. But that is going to be 3 members pulled to the top side. Infernal Drake is coming up right now, and that's going to go over to Apex, no problem. They immediately started heading that direction after they had that fight in the top side. Instead of going for the Baron, they thought it was too risky, especially with Santorin up with Smite, that now have Ray split push on the other side and get yourself this Drake.
So beautiful stuff right now. You got to give props to Apex for doing a good job, and even when their top laner overextends, it's to create space for the rest of the team somewhere else.
Yep. Shrimp gets caught out there. That was blind, it looked like. He showed himself for half a second. Kiwikid throws out the ultimate, hits Shrimp with it, and then GBM is forced to flash away. And yeah, Keane has Ghost on and is continuing to try to chase on this left side.
Yeah, he basically makes a 1v2 retreat happen, and the other 3v3 goes just fine for Apex. Then yeah, Ray's teleport cuts off the ability to go to the right, so GBM has to run left.
Yep, and Xpecial with the flash Q for the follow-up. If he had missed that, they may have missed out on those kills.
And Apollo tagged him right there, got an auto attack in thanks to a ward, so he had the assist marker, and then down it goes.
And yeah, Kiwikid starting that fight off, but it ends up getting turned around on NRG. And now it's a 4,000 gold advantage for Apex. He's looking for more picks again.
Well, Tempered Fate is in. Now the attempt to go for the kill. Here we see Santorin in the front line as the teleports and Co came in. Quas taking in the front side, stunned up, has to run away now. Santorin, yeah, nearly dead. A cannon dies, heals him up a little bit. Nice knockback, but GBM has gone down. Apollo landed the auto attacks. Keane goes to the front lines. Doesn't fight over the kill, though. And yeah, this could just mean Baron, as Santorin's got no health. Does have an ultimate. Yep, GBM's dead.
Does have the ultimate, has to back. He doesn't have any tunnels nearby. They cleared the tunnel that was placed down. They're going to have to stall for a good while here. He has to go straight to the mid lane, but Quas is caught.
Quas is stunned. He doesn't find him an ult onto just yet, and yeah, just goes down. The ulti brought him back into danger. His W had already timed out, so there's no stun to get. And now back onto Baron they go, but Santorin
He's got a ward in there, it's not cleared.
And his smites are good. Santorin got many smite duels in the NV series. Maybe he can try again. He's still waiting around. Can they stop him? He's gonna get stopped. A great shot by Xpecial with the ultimate to secure the Baron. Shrimp lands the smite. Baron going through to Apex. They are winning this one.
Put down the pink ward for good measure, sees the ward, sees that it gets down to 1,000 HP, and Xpecial is the jungler's best friend right now because it doesn't become a 50-50 because of that. And Santorin's flash not up, so he was forced to tunnel and run straight into the fissure.
Well, if the story of Apex is about vindication and showing, look, I was good all along, Xpecial is honestly putting out a great name for himself. 2-1-7, 100% kill participation. Was a bigger factor than the jungler in securing the Baron.
44
I gotta
CS.
give this guy 44 CS. Like, I mean, he is smashing his lane. But legitimately, I think Xpecial is playing excellently so far.
He is. Xpecial was able to actually turn around that bot lane dive, make that 2 for 0 become a 2 for 1, because he knew, I'm going to use my flash, I'm going to get something for it. A lot of people blow their flash in a panic. He only blew it when he knew that he was going to get a counter kill.
In terms of money earned by the gold generation, 1,200 and change for the Equinox, 700 for Kiwikid with the Eye of the Watchers. So Xpecial has been dedicating a lot of time and effort in making sure he last hits, which I actually appreciate as skill and supports because it lets him buy a locket, right? Like, he gets his team stats by trying to last hit.
I also think his team is doing that too, because how many times does the support reach 20 minutes? They start roaming around and everybody's just killing the minions before he does.
Immediately.
Especially when Apollo starts getting crit. Just,
right.
It's like, hey, let me have one.
It's worse for Sivir. At least Caitlyn can, like, wait a second and, you know, be a bit more honorable about it. But
he's chasing the Ricochet, running after the Ricochet.
No, he runs faster than me. Zina, why you do this?
There's a Bard voice.
Huh?
No, I was like, whose voice is that?
That would be Xpecial.
That would be Braum.
Yeah. He gets really high pitch when he misses CS.
That's true.
It's something he cares about deeply.
That's Boros.
That's canon. Yeah. Well, Strip takes away some more of the jungle camps, and with Baron buff, the question is how much can Apex get done? Baron should last long enough. Actually, no. Baron should time up before the dragon respawns, in my estimation.
Yes.
2 minutes with less than half the buff to go.
Yeah, Baron is 3.5.
I'm pretty certain on that one.
Yep, got buffed from 3 minutes.
Yep.
So
but 6,500 gold up, wearing a Baron for still a minute and change.
Yeah, and the wave clear on this team is OQ as well as GBM, but Xpecial can actually stop a lot of OQ's wave clear. They can't stop GBM's.
And they're looking to get this one. Actually, Apollo has to flash out. Shrimp walks away. But there's the ulti going in. They want this fight, at least a little bit. Health bars drop rapidly, and into the backside. Keane gets a 3-4-man tag. Turret goes down, and he forces the rest of the team to run away. Top lane tier 2 goes down. Well pushed by Apex. It looks like a recall for a few to heal up.
And Purchase used that last little bit of your Baron buff. Apex rotating to both sides now because they pushed out that top side. Now they're going to the right side jungle. They got the red buff for Apollo, and now they're going to take control of this right side, especially since blue buff is coming up soon.
So far, you got to say, really beautiful stuff coming out of Apex. And props to Ray as well. Again, he started the game 0-2-0. You wouldn't have thought it here. Just still winning his lane, still doing beautiful things, and it's been really nice. NRG definitely were more proactive than they were in the previous game. The previous series, I should say. All three, they weren't the most aggressive of teams, but they had made a lot happen early on. But unfortunately, they stopped finding options in the mid game. Scumbag Apollo didn't give Xpecial the CS.
See?
Hey, he's still using his stacks, though. He's only got one left. That's not bad.
That's true. 50 CS now.
I almost never see Xpecial with 4 stacks around him. So via some of the teamwork, some of everything else, you got to say there's been some nice moments making sure Xpecial got the gold.
Oh, blue buff being contested here. Keane trying to pick it up for himself.
Gets it.
Of course, a lot of people talk about, oh, it has mana, but it also gives you 15% of your AP.
Yep, and 10 CDR. Not a bad thing either.
Not
Here they go. On to the Ocean Drake. Did you know, despite being the Ocean Drake, it doesn't splash?
Yeah. Infernal and Mountain Dew, but wait a second, Ray, you might make a splash.
Ray is going to get splatted, more likely. He's going for the 1v3 and does go down. OQ cutting him out successfully enough. Ray goes down. It buys some time, but
That's a lot of.
they could have gotten that dragon anyway.
Yeah. Dragon was basically not at least any part of that play. They pick up Ray. They use heal for flash. That's it. That's the trade. And also the ignite, I believe, from Kiwikid. But they shove up the bottom lane. There's still a mid lane turret to take. And I'm actually very surprised that it was just held by Quas and GBM. GBM cleared it out, and then he went to the bottom to deal with Vladimir.
It's GVM. He's definitely excellent at this champion. And one of the best players in the league, I would say, for sure. And turns out he did a really good job wave clearing on this Azir. He's got the Rylays, he's got the Abyssal, he's hard to kill.
OQ, Executioner's Calling. Sink that 800 gold in. That was the lesson from yesterday.
By
For everybody
calling.
Was buy Executioner's Calling when there's a Vladimir.
Yeah.
Even if there's a Trundle as well on top of it. Like, this is going to pay off. And it's on physical damage, so Ricochet will apply it to everybody it hits.
Yeah. I feel like all teams could use like a trained parrot that just tells you things that are useful in the game. Like, buy Executioners against Vladimir, brah! And just, you feed him a little cracker every 5 minutes for reminding you of things you should always do in League of Legends.
It's called watching the VOD with the casters.
Most teams don't do that from what I understand, actually.
Yeah, they don't.
I've talked to some teams, and they prefer their own analysis. Not that I can begrudge them that.
Well, also, sometimes there's things where it's like, okay, well, I really don't want to have that be in my mind where it's like, oh, this has been coming up in the community. A lot of people avoid social media.
Right, sure.
Those types of things.
And we don't always talk specifically about strategy, right? It's like, man, Xpecial sure wants redemption. He's like, you're right, I do, right? Like, that's not something he's going to learn from the VOD.
Yeah, and also, what was your score in the last 3 games, Phreak? Like, you probably
3 games of what?
You probably couldn't tell me.
Nope.
But it's like, Quas tuned in and be like, oh, 11 and 20.
Yep.
It's like, well, that sounds awful. And he's just like, I just felt like I had some bad games. That's it.
Well,
but I don't need the scoreline thrown in front of me.
I mean, if we want to harp on Quas and
Anyway.
throw in the scoreline, he started this game 3-0-1. He got 2 ganks to the top lane, TV'd for another kill, and at the end of that, he's now gone 0-3-1 since then. He and the rest of NRG, honestly, overall as a team, have just not found any kind of good mid game. The early game way better. Like, they had some really good things going on. The cross-map plays were nice. The ganks were good, but...
Ooh. Ow, that actually is big. That bottom lane, Ray used his ultimate onto GBM, and GBM still completed his recall. So he won't have his ultimate for this Baron fight, if it happens right now.
Yeah, right now the reigning cooldown on that spell is 32 seconds. So, look, wait a minion wave, Apex, and don't get baited into a battle without Trundle ultimate right now, because you could use the stats. Right now, they're setting up a cupcake wall, trying to make sure that you can't get into the Baron right here, trying to hold position for now, and now the flash, ooh! Nice trade there, Kiwikid getting away, but now Shrimp slowed down and really beset by this team, trying to run away, gonna repel out, and now it's Keane in the front line, and GBM gets deleted right off the face of the map. OQ's gonna be next up. Keane just can ignore the damage output. 2 kills so far for Apex, destroys the entire backline of NRG.
Keane with the flank, and then Apollo with the damage across everybody. Caitlyn, Vladimir, dirty combo. That's gonna be the Baron for Apex.
Almost certainly. You can't really try to stop this. Santorin, I guess, could look at it, but he's in the base right now, so no chance. Second Baron of the game goes through to Apex. Nice smite, nice execute by Shrimp. And looking to make a statement here in their first game. Apex far ahead in their first.
It took them a while to get to that point where they started ballooning it. They had to come back up from a little bit of a deficit, but the thing is, even though they were behind in kills, they were always rather close in gold. The gold generation from Xpecial, as well as the CS advantage that they have always had in that top lane, despite Ray dying 2 times very early.
Also interesting to see that it is them relying on Xpecial and Ray to be the tanks. It's actually an AP build from Shrimp, and we can see him do some damage in this replay.
flash forward, Kiwikid flashes reactionary, Santorin follows up, and now Keane gets to go in on the right side, and then ultis the 2 members that he needs to hit, and GBM just gets destroyed by all of the incoming damage, and Xpecial with the lockup to make sure that they can't escape in that one brief moment, because that was 100-0 there so quickly for GBM.
Yeah, and that's got to be just rough stuff. He's got, I mean, about 700-800 damage coming out of Tides of Blood here in this fight. We're going to watch another battle right here as Quas, yeah, just ripped apart in the front line, has to run away. He will just barely survive this one as he runs out. Kiwikid takes a slam to the face. He's going to survive, but the turret's already gone. Baron buff on top of the 5 members, really letting Apex push through easily and conveniently as the inhibitor goes down. That's been solid for them. And they're just able to walk to the front line and say, you get away from this, it's our base now, and NRG has to comply.
Yeah, they just have so many combat stats right now. On the side of Apex, up 13,000 gold. And Elder Dragon changes from a Drake to a Dragon.
It does, it grows up, as some would say. Did you know, actually, as we talk about Drakes and Dragons, in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, a Drake is actually... this is actually something that Dom got for us, by the way. He looked it up for us.
The real nerd. No.
Yeah, hey, I mean, we're all, let's be fair. We're casting League of Legends. We're all real nerds.
No.
Shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, getting back to my wonderful topic, a Drake is an elemental dragon in the, like, it's a dragon hailing from an elemental plane in Dungeons and Dragons. So, literally a Drake if it's elemental.
Okay.
Did you know?
Usually it's Drakes or, like, younger dragons.
Right, like if you're in Magic the Gathering or for something, for example.
Do you know what a wyvern or a wyvern is?
I don't know the difference.
Difference is dragons have 4 legs and then wings, whereas wyverns have their front legs are also their wings.
Okay.
So Shyvana is technically a wyvern.
Well, she's a half dragon, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly. She's a wyvern.
Okay.
She's halfway there. She just needs
She didn't grow extra appendages. She just got wings on her arms. Well, moving into this one, no, this is not Shyvana. This is an Elder Dragon. It's been there for, well, all of a month, actually, as far as Elder Dragons go, but that's okay. NRG looking to combat this one. Apex, the team in the lead, but Baron buff is timed out. You've got Ray in the front line.
Keane in the back.
For the ulti, and it's somehow Keane flanking yet again, looking for specifically GBM, who knocks him back, gets back to safety, then flashes back in, and Keane gets the kill. So down goes the mid laner, and GBM is not there to carry the fight. It's now on OQ's damage. Looks like they don't have it because NRG running away for dear life. Xpecial still chasing and looking for someone to land the Q on so that they can get that kill, and the slow is enough. The Trundle pillar is enough to knock down Quas. Another one comes in, Shrimp on a rampage, chasing for further kills. He's got Spiderlings. He's angry. He does plenty of damage, but Kiwikid is going to get back out to the base. Still a 3-for-0 Dragon in the field, but how about just dead inhibitors and minions to push the base down?
Every time Keane is getting to that backline, every time the peel is not reliable enough for NRG. Bard, Rek'Sai, and also Ekko. It's so hard to peel, and Keane gets there. The team shows up in Apex. They clean up.
They clean up well. That was a solid game by them, and honestly, there's players you can talk about on all fronts. Xpecial, still at the end of the game, 100% field participation. I think did great on his new LCS team now, his 3rd, I believe, team in the LCS, if I recall properly. You had Ray, at this point, the newest guy on the team, I would say, and, you know, got super camped early game. His lane opponent TP'd out, got another kill. Started the game 0-2-0. They said, that's okay. Ray, we trust you. That Trundle we early picked. That's what you want you to be on. Here's Rift Herald. Here's Split Push. And he turned out to do wonderfully in that game.
And got him back in with that Rift Herald. Gave him a lot of pressure, and he was able to duel Quas and picked up a double kill in that mid lane fight that got him way back into the game and actually ahead at that point. But I want to talk about their overall strategy because Apex were pretty much always in the lead.
Yeah.
Even when down in kills and giving up those kills top, the CS that they were acquiring, the fact that they were getting that gold generation on Xpecial, they were always in this game, and they were never really on the back foot.
Yeah, and everyone seemed to do their part really well. There was never someone who was like getting dragged along like from a collar or something like, no, we're going to win. Trust me with this one. Kind of like when NRG won game 2 over Envy, it was like GBM just dragging teammates across. This felt like a good like team-sized win. They put trust in Ray. Keane honestly really crushed team fights. He was just soloing the backline, which is, okay, some of that's maybe hashtag just Vladimir things, and kind of teams are realizing the insanity of this champion, maybe, because he's, you know, he built more ability power, so he, you know, he was kind of focused on it, but just absolutely just deleted GBM, who couldn't get away from the damage. He couldn't kite him. Even if he ults the guy back with Azir, Keane flashes back on top of him. It's like Keane got his positioning, which is super impressive, that he was always able to reach that backline and kill it. Some of that's champion, some of that's the player, but either way, it turned out to be a win.
Yeah, he's a huge threat, and then also Apollo stepped up too. Apollo on Caitlyn, so it's so much damage from that champion that you cannot ignore it, and that's what the thought process was for NRG, but you can't also ignore Vladimir. Vladimir's going to be diving your backline, and he's so hard to peel with his pool that he's always going to get his damage off in some way, shape, or form. But I also want to jump over to the support here because Xpecial did phenomenal. 14 KDA this game, 100% kill participation as a Braum. So it's not like, oh, I ran around and gave you a buff. It's no, he tagged everybody. He tagged everybody that they killed. He was really active in this game. And I think that Xpecial deserves a lot of props for that victory.
I agree. I think it was an overall team effort. You can even look at the guys who were somewhat overlooked. I think Shrimp held up just fine. 4-1-5. His one death was, okay, a flub tower dive. Like, that was a mistake, yes, of course, but the rest of the game recovered well, went for an ability power build, never died again, kept control there.
That dive was actually really unfortunate because the wave is being pushed up, Keane is pushing it up, and there's this one minion with low HP, and as soon as Shrimp comes over the wall, it's hit, GBM hits 6, and then he turns around and has just enough mana because of the level up to throw out the wall. So
and
really
unfortunate. To live long enough, right?
Really unlucky.
All that definitely matters. So it was really, honestly, a great game to watch. We will have at least one more. Of course, we are playing best of 3s here in North America, but Apex poised to have an immaculate start to their season. And so for more on that Apex Game 1 win, let's hear from Dash and the boys.